there was this EU-Armenia summit held on May 4th and 5th, where we saw, you see the tweet on the left, more than 30 European leaders gathered in Yerevan, along with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. We've talked in the past about where Canada's alignment kind of, as we call it, fits into this this big puzzle. And I think his presence here, what's the Canadian PM doing over in Armenia for an EU-Armenia meeting? It tells you, in my opinion, that's just one of the countless tells we've had at this point as far as where Canadian
Where the wind is blowing.
current Canadian political leadership aligns itself. Doesn't mean the run-of-the-mill rank and file Canadian citizen is there, but it tells you exactly kind of how the operatives are influencing Canada and its alignment in my book, and the kind of pushback you see from the Canadian kind of nationalism perspective with the whole elbows out type of movement, kind of setting itself up as a foil once again to the American sovereigntist position as it has in its more ancient history, as opposed to second half of the 20th century history. All right, then you get NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in Yerevan, and President Zelenskyy of Ukraine. So you see the coalition coming in, and what I view this as is kind of an attempt to bring Armenia, which is a key location. You've got basically conflict. It's been present in the Caucasus and developing for decades now, but it's really pushing this action is pushing the situation towards more instability, in my opinion, not less. And we saw, starting last August in a White House kind of signing ceremony of a treaty between, two neighboring countries. Actually, just one of the few examples in the world of countries that are, what, I don't know the proper term for it, I forget, but you split them. You got Armenia in the middle, and then two pockets of Azerbaijan, and then tons of little acreages, square miles, whatever, that are under contest between who holds sovereignty over them. This is just old school, border clashes type of disagreements that spring up between neighbors throughout history as we shift over from peacetime into wartime. And there is no, in my opinion, this time is different. We never permanently solve these things, but what we can do, or what is in the control of the leaders in our times, is how we navigate it and push it towards certain outcomes. So my concern here, when I see this action taken, there is going to be an equal and opposite response in reaction to that from the other players at the table, and we're going to start to see those show up in the coming weeks and months. So every action has consequences, or as we put it in the terms on social media these days, a little bit more crass, FAFO. I won't spell that one out. The other key thing I wanted to highlight here, Cameron, before we go in, the chart on European expansion. We'll talk about this in a little bit more detail. If you recall back in January, I can't remember, Cameron, if we brought this one up as a topic, but Bulgaria adopted the euro officially in January, so it flipped on and you could say gave up its sovereignty over its own local currency.
Monetary sovereignty, at least. Yeah.
Monetary sovereignty, correct. Adopted the euro, and that brings it in kind of the complete package of Eurozone participation as a member state, Schengen member, all that stuff. Now you're on the euro itself. So that'll become kind of important as we talk about some of the repercussions of these oil and gas pipelines that are setting out, which echoes, one of our favorite books we'll always bring up, with a lot of frequency if you listen to us, The Prize by Daniel Yergin, talking about geopolitics as a competition for access to resources, is what this amounts to at the end of the day. So speaking of that access to resources. Here's the photo op. You've got Ursula von der Leyen on the left, former, was it Prime Minister or President of Portugal, Costa in the middle. I think he's EU president currently. Then Pashinyan, I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but he was the very pro-European figure representing the current Armenian government at these at this summit, which ended in a lot of handshakes, connectivity partnerships, etc., to bring Armenia more into the EU economic sphere of influence. So to bring that up, just the reaction here. We'll talk about these pipelines that are coming into being. But since January this year, we've had the pipeline set up. We'll show you the image in a second, which is basically moving oil and gas, like energy resources that kind of we all have the awareness. Europe is short access to energy, and if you zoom out, like a lot of the geopolitical activity over the last 10 years, right? We see pipelines being blown up, stuff like that. It's really, under the hood, or at least a large component of this is the access to energy resources. And at the end of the day, it's which producer from the supply standpoint is going to have access to specific demand markets, and those relationships, every one of those linkages are things of extreme value, right? If you're a supplier, you will fight for access to sell your commodities into a demand market. This is what the prize by Daniel Yerevan really gets at. When all these diplomats, politicians, NATO generals, et cetera, get together at these summits, a big piece of what's on the table here and the actual thing they're going after is that prize. It's what are those energy supply demand relationships going to look like for the decades type of timelines into the future. So it's a very big deal. We've never figured out a way to fully resolve them peacefully in that, the oil era, post, mid 1800s. All right. So now you get into some reactions. I want to focus on this in response to, those handshake photo ops coming out of the EU-Armenia summit. And we've got on the left, Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Austria. I think they, in this kind of thinking or analysis, they really represent a good picture of where the demand side is coming from and their interests, and then the same Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Russia and what the supplier has to say about what they just saw take place. So on the left, you very much see pats on the back, just kind of celebration mode from Austria. Basically, showing happiness of this new pipeline deal. And just for context, these pipelines aren't like filling a massive total share of, say, Germany and Austria's energy demands as they stand today, right? Since oil's largely been flowing through the pipelines we're showing you. Well, we'll show you on the screen the map in a second. It's still single digits percentage, but direction of travel is what's important, or rate of change, right? What's the first derivative on these trends doing? And that'll tell you what each side thinks about it. Notably, you see, the first tweet from MFA Austria, you see the highlight of the commitment to fighting FIMI. I think it's foreign interference and misinformation. I didn't get that acronym perfectly correct, but that's pretty much what it's over. It's this digital kind of what would you call it? Just fight that takes place on modern, social media platforms
tough
in
for
the
most
information
viewers
space.
and anybody to understand. Am I seeing something from a bot? Is this actually a real
Yep.
person? That's what they're trying to relate this to, right? Yeah.
Yep. And that's why we try to be careful from a week to week on which tweets we'll show you or which news sources we'll put up on the screen. Everybody's got their own you know objectivity or lack thereof on describing this process, especially when all the marbles are at stake. But when we can, we want to go direct to the source as opposed to, I don't know, just screenshotting just a guy with a few
Somebody's
million
take.
followers
Yeah.
getting the most views, right? Because everybody at the end of the day, you never know how they're influenced or which which specific perspective they may be, applying some spin on the ball. And This is professional tennis. There's a lot of spin on the ball out there, as we all kind of know intuitively. All right. But yeah, you see the MFA Australia saying we support the agreement as you would expect them to. And also just kind of foot to, if you've been following us the last few weeks, we talked about Prussia, Austria, kind of the power flip-flop that happened in 1864 to 1866. Austria used to be, very close to top of the three on the like continental powers. They've fallen down the leaderboard, and you kind of see them here. They're just kind of taking what the E3 as they're called, UK, France, Germany, give them in my read of this situation. All right. So they're just largely going along with the main Northern European powers, as well as the center of gravity in European politics, which is Brussels. Right. All right. On the right, you've got the MFA of Russia, and you see this one as saying like, oh, it's kind of like, watch out. Do you guys know what you just did? And obviously they do, but you see their diplomat Zakharova say Armenia, a country that they've always regarded as fraternal, has become a platform for the Kiev regime, which, as you know, is something we're all deeply familiar with at this point. Moscow and Kiev do not see eye to eye, and Kiev being historically that border land between continental Europe and Russia. You see this iteration of power in Ukraine really aligning itself with the EU and the UK. All right. And this is foreboding and where things get concerning. He says at the same time, Zelensky's visit to Yerevan showed Armenians what kind of future the EU has in store for them. Just oof. Obviously, the Ukraine war is a highly controversial, emotional situation. On top of being kind of humanitarian disaster, as we all know, this thing has turned from a political or a situation that was being contested in at the political level, right? And it's turned into military, which means a lot of people have lost their lives. It's very sad, and for this to be hinting at some future of escalation of violence in the Caucasus, which we'll show on the map in a second, that is something. If you're one of these diplomats and involved at the table here, I would hope they'd be trying to avoid that, but as history shows, that's not always going to be the case. So let's stay hopeful that there's no further escalation of war breaking out any further than it already is. But I would say at this point the tea leaves are showing up, and it's not positive developments, in my opinion, from what we saw everybody doing this week.